My dear friend, if you are listening to this right now and you are over 70 or love someone who is, then please lean in close. Because what I am about to share is not just a list of habits or rules. It is a collection of real-life truths learned from decades of watching people thrive or suffer in their later years. I have seen patients in their 70s outlive expectations with vitality. I have also seen others grow weaker year by year, not from illness alone, but from invisible daily choices that slowly and silently stole years off their lives. It breaks my heart because many of these things are entirely preventable. And the worst part is, these habits don't feel dangerous. They feel normal. They feel like routine. But they aren't harmless, not at all. The first habit is one most people never even question. It's sitting. Not just the act of sitting, but how much of the day is spent in a chair, recliner, or on the couch. After 70, too much sitting is not just lazy behavior, it becomes a serious health threat. In a major study published in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine, researchers followed over 200,000 adults and found that sitting for more than 7 hours a day was associated with a higher risk of all-cause mortality. And yes, the risk remained even when accounting for exercise. That means you could go for a walk in the morning, but if you spend the rest of the day sedentary, you are still at risk. It slows circulation, increases inflammation, and weakens muscles needed for balance and mobility. The fix is simple but powerful. Get up every 30 minutes, walk around the room, stand while reading the newspaper, do small leg lifts while brushing your teeth. Movement doesn't have to be exhausting to be life-saving. Your body craves motion. Give it that gift. The second habit is something many seniors fall into without realizing it. Isolation. As friends pass away, families move away, or mobility declines, it becomes easier to spend days with little or no human interaction. And the loneliness that follows is not just emotional, it is physical. A study published in Perspectives on Psychological Science found that loneliness and social isolation are as damaging to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That is not just poetic comparison, that is scientific fact. When you are lonely, your stress hormones rise, your immune system weakens, your sleep suffers, depression creeps in, and slowly your health declines. If you've grown used to silence, I urge you to break it. Call someone every day, invite a neighbor over for tea, join a book club, a prayer group, or even an online community. Connection heals. Conversation revives. Relationships breathe life back into the soul. The third habit that steals years is undereating, especially protein. Many seniors lose their appetite or reduce their meals due to smaller energy needs. But while calories may drop, the need for high-quality protein increases with age. Why? Because after 70, your muscles are more prone to wasting. Sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass, is a silent thief of independence and longevity. It weakens your legs, affects your balance, and raises your fall risk dramatically. According to a study in the Journals of Gerontology, higher protein intake is linked to lower rates of frailty and better physical performance in older adults. You need about 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. That might mean eggs in the morning, beans in the afternoon, and chicken or fish in the evening. It may not feel urgent, but every forkful of good protein is an investment in the strength of your body. The fourth daily habit that quietly shortens life is ignoring hydration. I know many older adults drink less to avoid nighttime trips to the bathroom. Others simply feel less thirsty. But the truth is, dehydration is common and dangerous in people over 70. Your body loses its ability to signal thirst accurately, and your kidneys aren't as efficient as they used to be. Even mild dehydration can lead to confusion, dizziness, constipation, and kidney strain. A study from the National Institutes of Health found that seniors who were consistently underhydrated had a higher risk of chronic diseases and early death. Your body's over 60% water. Think about that. Your blood, your brain, your joints, your organs all rely on proper hydration. Sip water throughout the day. Eat water-rich foods like fruits and soups. Avoid relying only on thirst to guide you. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses of fluid unless your doctor says otherwise. Your health depends on it more than you may realize. The fifth habit that shortens life is poor sleep hygiene. Sleep changes as we age. It becomes lighter, more fragmented, but the mistake is accepting poor sleep as a normal part of aging. It isn't. It's a health threat. In a landmark study published in Sleep Health, researchers found that adults over 70 who got fewer than 6 hours of sleep per night had a higher risk of heart disease, memory decline, and early death. Quality sleep is when your brain clears waste, when your body repairs tissue, and when your immune system strengthens. If you struggle to sleep well, create a ritual. Go to bed and rise at the same time daily. Avoid screens before bed. Keep your room cool and dark. Limit caffeine after noon. And if you snore loudly or wake up gasping, get checked for sleep apnea. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a life-preserving function. Treat it as sacred. And finally, the sixth habit, perhaps the most overlooked of all, is neglecting emotional well-being. I have seen strong hearts fail because of silent suffering. I have seen cancer take root in bodies where bitterness and regret were never released. Chronic stress, sadness, anxiety, and unresolved trauma do not just weigh on the mind. They poison the body, they increase inflammation, weaken the immune system, and accelerate aging at a cellular level. The famous Whitehall study found that people with high stress levels and poor emotional health were significantly more likely to develop chronic illness and die earlier, even when adjusting for lifestyle factors. That is why tending to your mental health is not indulgent. It is essential. Whether through journaling, prayer, counseling, or simply speaking your truth to someone who cares, find a way to release the burdens of the past. Replace self-judgment with self-compassion. Allow joy to return in small doses. Even after 70, you can grow emotionally. You can still heal. The heart never stops needing love. Let it receive. You see, my friend, aging itself does not kill. It is the habits, the silence, the small daily choices that go unchallenged. And the good news is, it is never too late to change. I have watched men and women in their 80s and 90s regain strength, lightness, and vitality simply by turning away from these habits. Not overnight, but gradually, gently, with awareness and commitment. You do not need to become someone else. You just need to return to caring for the life within you. You do not have to accept fatigue, pain, or loneliness as your new normal. You are not too old to feel better. You are not too far gone to make a difference in how the rest of your life will unfold. Every day you wake up is another day to choose better. Stand up and stretch your legs. Pick up the phone and call a friend. Cook yourself a nourishing meal and drink a glass of water with it. Go to bed with peace in your heart and rise with the knowledge that you are not just living longer. You are living stronger. The science agrees. And so does every patient I have ever seen who decided to live rather than simply survive. Let these truths settle into your bones. Let them guide your days. And know this, from one soul to another, you matter, your life matters. And these simple, powerful changes can add not just years to your life, but life to your years. So take that first step today, not for perfection, not out of fear, but out of love for the life that still pulses within you, because you are still here, and that means there is still time. What are the 5 most powerful habits that add life to your years after 70? My dear friend, if you are listening to this, then I want you to know something before we go any further. Life after 70 is not the beginning of the end. It is simply a different season. And in this season, every single choice you make carries deep weight. You may not move as fast as you once did. Your bones may ache a little more, but your heart, your mind, your soul, and even your body still have the power to grow, to heal, and to feel joy. I have spent over 4 decades listening to patients, watching patterns, studying the science, and learning from those who live well beyond 90 with a glow in their spirit and a fire in their eyes. And I can tell you with certainty, there are 5 powerful habits that I have seen again and again in those who not only live long, but live fully. These habits are not magic. They are not trendy. They are rooted in science, supported by research, and lived by those who refuse to fade quietly. Let me tell you what they are, and more importantly, why they matter. The first is movement. Not just exercise, not intense gym routines, but daily joyful movement. Walking, gardening, dancing, stretching. Your body was made to move, and when it stops moving, everything inside slows down with it. Muscles weaken, joints stiffen, blood flow declines, and your balance, your posture, even your mood starts to fall apart. In a landmark study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, researchers found that just 20 to 30 minutes of walking per day was associated with a 39% lower risk of all-cause mortality in older adults. That is nearly 40%. Every step you take helps your heart pump stronger, helps your lungs stay open, and helps your brain stay sharp. More than that, movement is medicine for the soul. It reminds you that you are still here, still capable, still part of this world. You do not have to move fast, you just have to keep moving. The second habit that adds life to your years is deep social connection. Not surface-level chatter, but genuine human bonds. A friend you can laugh with, a grandchild who brings light to your day, a neighbor who checks in. Loneliness is a silent killer, and we cannot underestimate it. Research from Harvard Health shows that socially connected seniors live longer, have lower rates of cognitive decline, and recover more quickly from illness and surgery. In fact, loneliness has been shown to be as harmful to health as smoking and obesity. That's how powerful connection is. I once had a patient, 86 years old, who joined a local painting group after her husband passed away. She told me, "The colors came back into my life. Her arthritis improved, her sleep improved, her sadness began to lift." Because when you have someone to talk to, someone to share a moment with, you remember that you are not alone. And that memory gives you the strength to live with more meaning. The third habit is nourishing the body with real, whole foods. After 70, your digestion slows, your sense of taste may shift, and your appetite may shrink. But that does not mean you need less nutrition. In fact, you need more quality than ever before. Foods that fight inflammation, foods that support memory, foods that protect your heart. A Mediterranean-style diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, olive oil, legumes, nuts, and lean proteins has been proven again and again to improve longevity. A major study published in the New England Journal of Medicine showed that older adults following such a diet had significantly reduced risk of heart disease, stroke, and even cognitive decline. But beyond the science, food is joy. Food is ritual. Cooking a simple, colorful meal or sharing a meal with a loved one becomes an act of self-respect. Eat slowly, chew mindfully, choose foods that are as close to the earth as possible, and always remember that every bite is a chance to care for the one body you've been given. The fourth habit, one that too many people ignore, is training the mind to stay sharp and alive. Just like muscles, your brain needs regular stimulation, not just routine, but challenge. The brain is capable of change even in old age. This is called neuroplasticity, and it means your brain can form new connections if you keep using it. Read books, learn new skills, play memory games, study a language, take up music. A report from the Alzheimer's Association highlighted that older adults who engage in mental stimulation have a reduced risk of developing dementia. One of my patients began learning chess at 73. He told me that each game gave him a sense of purpose. His memory improved, his concentration deepened, and most of all, he felt alive. You do not need to become a scholar, but you do need to stay curious. Stay mentally awake, because when the mind is alert, the body follows. The fifth and final habit is nurturing the inner world, your emotional and spiritual life. Whether you are religious or not, what matters is that you tend to your inner peace. Stress, regret, unresolved anger, or fear can take a physical toll. Studies from Harvard Medical School have found that chronic stress raises cortisol levels, which contributes to inflammation, heart disease, depression, and even shortened lifespan. But those who meditate, pray, journal, or simply sit quietly each day experience lower blood pressure, better sleep, and deeper emotional resilience. I knew a man in his 90s who began every morning with 10 minutes of silent gratitude. He wrote down 3 things he was thankful for, even when his body hurt, even when the news was heavy. He said it reminded him of what was still good, what still made life worth living. That kind of emotional discipline does not require money or energy, only awareness, only a willingness to turn inward and find peace, no matter what storms rage outside. Now, you might be wondering, can these 5 habits really make that much difference? I have seen it with my own eyes. I have watched patients in wheelchairs regain independence. I have watched widows find joy again. I have watched 80-year-olds with stronger bones than people half their age because they chose movement over stillness, community over isolation, nourishment over neglect, curiosity over passivity, and peace over stress. These are not theories, these are lived truths. You have the power today, right now, to adopt even one of these habits and begin to feel the shift. Start small, walk to the mailbox every morning, call a friend each week, swap out sugary snacks for a bowl of berries. Learn one new fact every day. Sit quietly with your breath for 5 minutes. These are not miracles, but they are seeds. And when planted daily, with care and patience, they blossom into strength, joy, and longevity. You are not too old to begin. You are not too late to improve. Every breath you take is a chance to live better, to love deeper, and to stay alive in every sense of the word. So choose well, choose life, and never forget that the years ahead still belong to you. Let these 5 habits guide you there, one beautiful day at a time.